Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in a time when the world was literally being reborn? A time when artists became legends, scientists challenged the heavens, and thinkers redrew the very map of human knowledge? Well, buckle up, because we're diving into one of the most electrifying periods in history, the Renaissance. The word Renaissance literally means rebirth in French, and that's exactly what it was. Kicking off in Italy around the 14th century and spreading across Europe for the next 300 years, this wasn't just an update, it was a complete system overhaul for society. After the long, often grim period of the Middle Ages, people started looking back, way back, to the golden ages of ancient Greece and Rome. They rediscovered classical art, philosophy, and science, and it was like opening a window in a stuffy room. So where did this all start? Florence, Italy. Imagine a bustling city-state, flush with cash from trade and banking. Wealthy families like the Medici weren't just rich, they were patrons of the arts. They invested in talent, commissioning paintings, sculptures, and magnificent buildings. This patronage gave artists the freedom to experiment and create masterpieces that we still marvel at today. It was the perfect incubator for genius to hatch. And what genius it was! When you think of the Renaissance, you probably think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean the great artists. Leonardo da Vinci, the ultimate Renaissance man. He wasn't just the painter of the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. He was an inventor, an anatomist, a musician, an engineer. His notebooks are filled with designs for flying machines and detailed studies of the human body, centuries ahead of their time. Then there's Michelangelo. You look up in the Sistine Chapel, and that's his genius staring back at you. He painted that vast, complex ceiling pretty much single-handedly. And let's not forget his sculpture, David, a towering symbol of human perfection and strength, carved from a single block of marble. These artists weren't just copying old styles, they were pioneering new techniques like perspective, which made their paintings look three-dimensional and incredibly realistic. They brought a new level of human emotion and drama to their work, but the rebirth wasn't confined to art galleries. The skies themselves were being re-examined. For centuries, everyone believed the Earth was the center of the universe. Then, along came astronomers like Nicholas Copernicus, and later, Galileo Galilei. Galileo, with his newly improved telescope, saw the moons of Jupiter and the phases of Venus. His observations provided powerful evidence that the Earth, in fact, revolved around the Sun. This was revolutionary and, frankly, dangerous. It challenged not just science, but the core beliefs of the most powerful institution of the time, the Church. Galileo was put on trial for his ideas, a stark reminder that progress often comes with great personal risk. The way people thought was also changing dramatically, thanks to a movement called humanism. Humanists believed in the potential and dignity of human beings. They argued that life on Earth wasn't just a waiting room for the afterlife, it was something to be studied, improved, and enjoyed. Thinkers like Petrarch and Erasmus encouraged people to read classical texts, to question, to debate, and to think for themselves. This intellectual curiosity fueled the Reformation, the age of exploration, and the scientific revolution that followed. The invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg around 1440 was the supercharger for all this change. Suddenly, books and ideas could be mass-produced and shared faster and wider than ever before. Knowledge was no longer locked away in monasteries. It was accessible to a growing literate public. The Bible, scientific papers, philosophical treatises, they all spread like wildfire, igniting debates and discussions across the continent. So the Renaissance was more than just pretty pictures and old statues. It was a fundamental shift in how people saw themselves and their world. It was a celebration of human curiosity, creativity, and intellect. The legacy of Da Vinci's curiosity, Michelangelo's passion, and Galileo's courage is all around us. They laid the foundations for our modern world, reminding us that a rebirth of ideas can change everything. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the Renaissance, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more adventures in history, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Let me know in the comments which Renaissance figure fascinates you the most. Until next time, stay curious.